Replacing a club legend is always very tricky. It involves not just finding players with similar skills, but also individuals who can handle the emotional and psychological aspects of filling the shoes of such a beloved figure. Sometimes clubs get lucky and have a smooth handover, like Manchester City replacing Sergio Aguero with Erling Haaland, or Bayern finally finding a perfect Robert Lewandowski replacement in Harry Kane. But it's not always this smooth. In fact, more often than not, it always seems to go south, and we're gonna look into such moments. These are some of the worst replacements in football history. Hazard had earned a reputation as one of the world's finest players during his time at Chelsea. He played a pivotal role in securing the 2019 Europa League victory, contributing with 2 goals in the final. Madrid already had Vinicius Jr. in their ranks, but did not believe in him, so they forked out £100 million for the Belgian, gave him Ronaldo's number 7 jersey and made him the highest paid player at the club. He was seen as a natural successor to Ronaldo. With his goal-scoring prowess from the left wing, superstar status and exceptional dribbling ability, he was seen as a logical choice. However, his transfer arguably turned out to be the most disappointing among them all, and he not only became a bad replacement for Ronaldo, he turned out to be one of the worst signings in recent Spanish football history. He eventually relinquished his starting position to Vinicius Jr., and after 4 seasons in which he made just 76 appearances, he left in the summer. Brazilian was signed to replace yet another Brazilian in the name of the multi-talented Neymar. On paper, Coutinho was the perfect replacement for his fellow Brazilian. He was technically gifted, just like Neymar, but it turned out to be a total disaster. Barca paid around £125 million for his services, making him the most expensive player in Spanish history, and the transfer did not work out at all. Coutinho was in fact part of the team that humiliated Barcelona in the Champions League while on loan at Bayern Munich. There is no denying, though, that he started quite well and a promising debut season that suggested a seamless fit at Barca. His performance, however, underwent a significant downturn in the 18-19 campaign. He was tasked with starting at the left wing. Unfortunately, this role seemed to stifle his flair and charisma, revealing a less effective version of the Brazilian. In the end, it was a terrible transfer, one many at Barcelona will want to forget. May serve differently, but on his day, Diego Costa was undeniably a formidable force, an absolute battering ram. Renowned for his tenacity, Costa netted 52 goals in 89 outings for Chelsea, proving to be a relentless presence leading the Stamford Bridge attack. His outstanding contributions were halted when Antonio Conte strangely phased him out, a decision that left fans puzzled. The decision to replace Costa with Morata seemed promising initially. Chelsea invested around £60 million in Spanish striker, who made a strong start with 8 goals in his first 11 appearances. In hindsight, not so much. Morata's performance declined significantly, and he eventually flopped so hard that he was forced to join Atletico Madrid on a season-long loan, and eventually permanently. Ironically, he usurped Costa in the pecking order at the Madrid club. Life, indeed, has its peculiar twists. Senegalese is an exceptional player, no doubt. We all saw him at Liverpool, but he is in the enormous shoes left by the Polish striker, and so, expectedly, he struggled. The German Giants went from 57 goal contributions in 46 games from Lewandowski to just 18 and 38 from Mane. They nearly lost out on the Bundesliga this season, if not for Dortmund bottling out in the last day. And after what they saw, Bayern did not get proper proven centre-forward in Harry Kane, who has since settled in nicely, even though they remain second best to Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga. Arrived at Chelsea in January 2011 for a then British transfer record fee, a season before Drogba left, and the expectations were high, considering Drogba had been a key figure and a prolific goal scorer for Chelsea. He, however, struggled to consistently find the back of the net, and his performances were often criticised for lacking the impact that Drogba had on the team. If you ask Chelsea fans, though, that goal against Barcelona at Camp Nou was everything. While Torres might not have entirely replaced Drogba's impact in the long term, he did have moments of significance during his time at Stamford Bridge. The narrative of Torres as a replacement for Drogba is often characterized by a mix of unmet expectations and glimpses of contribution in critical moments. Interestingly, when Torres left for Chelsea, Liverpool bought Andy Carroll in January 2011 to replace him. Liverpool fans will never forgive the club for that. They made the striker the most expensive British player in the world at the time, only for him to end up scoring just 9 goals in 47 appearances in his first full season at the club. And after just that one season, the Reds decided they had seen enough and sent him to West Ham on loan. The Senegalese seemed a like-for-like replacement for the German, who had become a fan favourite at Stamford Bridge. He even got John Terry's number 26 shirt and scored on his debut against Tottenham. But over the course of that season, it turned out to be a complete disaster. From injuries to errors and just poor defending, Koulibaly's performances were nothing close to what Chelsea and fans expected. So in the summer, the club had to count their losses and send the Senegalese to Saudi Arabia just a year after they bought him. As well as the coach wanted him out, and who best to recruit other than UEFA Champions League finalist in the name of Andre Onana? It seemed as though Erik ten Hag had bought a goalkeeper who shared his mindset, and United fans couldn't be happier. They felt Onana was an upgrade on De Gea, but the first few months into his life at Old Trafford says otherwise. In any case, it's gotten worse. From a goalie who won the Premier League Golden Glove the past season, to one who has conceded 18 goals in the first 10 games of the club. And when he is not busy conceding goals, he's always making terrible mistakes, and overall, Onana has turned out to be a bad replacement for De Gea. Summer of 2018, Chelsea were dealt a blow by Madrid, and so they knew they had to act fast. What happened next was the Blues putting together a close to £70 million deal to take the Spanish keeper to Stamford Bridge, making him the most expensive goalkeeper in the world. Well, it did not work out the way they all had thought, and needless to say, they regretted the decision not long afterwards. Kepa made countless silly errors in so many big games, and just remembering he was brought in to replace Courtois made it even worse. The Spaniard also treated fans to some funny moments. We all remember when he refused to be subbed during a League Cup final clash against Liverpool, don't we? Securing a then world record £18 million transfer fee for Cristiano Ronaldo in 2007, Sir Alex Ferguson attempted to replicate his knack for unearthing obscure wingers and transforming them into superstars. This time around, it was Gabriel Obertan's time to step into the spotlight. The Frenchman was signed from Bordeaux in 2009, and many hoped Fergie's magic on Ronaldo would work again. Well, needless to say, this endeavour was very successful as David Moyes' era at Old Trafford. The Frenchman managed just 1 goal in 28 appearances during his time at Old Trafford, before he was sold to Newcastle in 2011. Yup, just like that. Clearly, replacing a club legend is not an easy task. It requires careful scouting, effective management, and patience from both the club and its fans. Now, we want to hear from you guys. What's your worst replacement ever in football history? Let us know in the comments below.